What's up YouTubers, this is HazardF5 back with a brand new video, and a video I've been waiting to do for a very long time now. So the belt we're going to be looking at today is extremely rare, only 20 of them exist in the world. They are fully licensed tribute belts and they are licensed by Main Event Belts in conjunction with the wrestlers that they are attributed to. This one being, of course, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR. Firstly, thank you very much to Parteon for lending me this particular championship. I really appreciate it. It's a very cool custom piece and a collector's item, especially if you're a fan of the tag team or tag team wrestling in general, because of course they are the ultimate throwback to old school tag teams in my opinion. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Main Event Belts Created FTR Tribute Championship belt. So let's go take a look. So here we are, the official licensed FTR Tribute Championship belt, created by Main Event Belts, Gav Manel, and on Miles Collier Leathercraft Leather. So let's get into it. So I'll start off here at the top. You've got a dashed rope-like border going around the outside, along with that inner border that overlays into other areas of the design. You've also got a sunburst pattern arching outwards towards the border at the top, bottom, left and right of the main plate, with the parts on the sides arching inwards. Just at the top of the main plate, you've got the Living Legends banner, a moniker FTR would refer to themselves as, with the streaks going inwards, a bit reminiscent of the old JMR 2002 Cruiserweight Championship. Underneath that, you've got a large blue globe in the center, along with the beautifully painted FTR logo, with each line varying in color. I do not envy anyone who has to do this kind of paintwork. I've heard that painting is one of the most time-consuming and annoying aspects of belt making. Then down here, you've got the stars that are often featured on the FTR merchandise. Or 7 stars FTR. At the bottom here, you've got the beautifully etched Top Guys out banner, again with those streaks coming in from the side. Here on the left, you've got an outline for the globe in the form of a wreath, arching downwards and being cut off at the bottom by the banner. Same on the other side. These were quite prominent in designs in the 80s and early 90s. And then you've got the portrait of the fist that's been etched and then had the recessed areas painted black to give it more detail. And there are 4 of them featured on the belt. Very reminiscent of placements of, say for example, stars on the classic Reggie IC and things of that nature. You've also got a nugget textured background that's used in the recessed areas of the design. So this all would have been hand dremeled. and that way, depending on the lighting, it catches the light differently in different areas, which is really the sole purpose of that style of texturing. You've got a very clean etch on these plates as well. You can see how the etch line goes nearly completely straight down, whereas on a lot of belts you'll see the etch line goes at an angle, so that while this goes fairly straight down with the etch, trying to get my camera focused on it, with like a vertical drop, a lot of makers you'll see sort of an etch line go outwards at a diagonal angle. So this is a very, very clean etch from Gavin Main Event belts. And again, the paintwork is absolutely gorgeous. Having spoken to several belt makers throughout the years, the vast majority of them, their least favorite aspect of belt making is the painting. So on something like this, quite the challenge. But we're not quite done yet with the whole painting aspect. So if we go to the side plates here, so the inner side plates feature a portrait of each of the wrestlers. So on this side we've got Dax Harwood. So you've got the dashed border going around the plate, along with the cut-off sunburst pattern at the top and the bottom of the main plate. Here you've got the Top Guy banner. And in the centre, you've got a very detailed portrait of Dax Harwood. And that's something that always stands out, specifically with Main Event belts' designs. It's these portraits that are so detailed, and you've got all the little areas that are sort of etched and painted in black to help them pop, like the detailing there on his beard and mustache. So it's really, really good. Then you've got, again, a wreath style border going around. And then you've got a circular border with red stones forming a circle. On the outside plate, once again, we've got a very detailed portrait. So here you can see FTR doing the Shatter Machine, their tag team finish. And everything from, like, you've got the fans in the crowd as well, which is just, the detailing on it is so, so good. So there you've got Dax Harwood doing the lift, and then you've got Cash Wheeler with the double knees. Black painted background to help the design pop. And then the dashed border as well. On the other side, you've got Cash Wheeler. So again, the overall design remains the same as the inner side plate on the left. Obviously, the only differences are the portrait is different, the banner, and the wreath has actually been reversed. So it's now going the other way. Giving it that symmetry. And again, the detail on the portrait, from the etched detailing on the beard, the chest hair and everything else. Just a beautiful, beautiful job. Again, you've got the red stones surrounding it. And then the Cash Wheeler banner at the bottom. The inverted variant of the banner at the top. Lovely piece of work. And then on this side plate, so while the outer left side plate features a portrait, this one actually features etched date plates. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these are all of the tag team championship title wins FTR have had in their career as a team in mainstream pro wrestling, from WWE as the Revival, and then on the Indies and in AEW. Of course, it cuts off when this belt was created. Now these are etched. These aren't actual nameplates, they are etched into the plate itself. But you've got the mimicked screws there to give it the complete look. The belt also comes with a really, really nice curve on it. So you've got a good depth to that curve, which really complements this design overall. Now let's take a look at the leather. So the leather on this belt was done by Miles Collier from Miles Collier Leathercraft. He works in conjunction with Main Event Belts on a lot of projects. He is their go-to guy for leather. And you guys have seen me review Miles's work previously. He does an amazing job. He, for my money, is in the top 2 of leather guys I've ever had belts from. He does exceptional work. So here you see the X-twine tooling going around the strap with the flowers in between, which is the same style of tooling they used on the Hogan 86 Championship, for a time the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And so clean. There's no overlap, there's no breakage. Then you've got the cut. So here you can see how Miles has tooled the strap and cut the strap to contort around each of the different curves on the belt. The way it flows really smoothly and contorts going around it. And this isn't an easy shape to do. Like, there's no flat lines to base it off of or get a sort of smooth rhythm going as far as like flowing it around. So it's a very tight cut and it works really, really well. It really helps the belt stand out as sort of a figure point as far as the main plate is concerned. Then on the snap areas, so again they've gone with the old school 80s style tooling. So you've got the lettering of FTR just here, which could be found on some of the earlier Reggie belts. You've got 2 stars on each side or in between the letters, with the 7th star being at the bottom, with 2 tooling lines on each side. Then you've got the old school pebble tooling. This was some of the earliest tooling that was actually featured on some of the Reggie Parks belts from back in the day. Like back in the day when you had the WrestleMania 3 Intercontinental, this was the kind of tooling that was used around the snap areas. So with FTR being a throwback wrestling team and being very old school themselves, going with an old school style of tooling was a really smart choice by Main Event Belts, Gav and Miles, because it really fits their personality and their gimmick. On the other side again, you've got the 7 stars FTR emblem with the bevel lines on each side. This belt is actually number 20 of 20. Only 20 of these belts were produced. These are officially licensed within FTR's approval. In fact, they each have their own copies of the belt. And there are not going to be any more of these produced. This was a limited run, and there were only 20 made. So this was actually the last one. And what a beautiful one it is. Again, thank you very much to Pilot Singh for lending this to me. And then you've got the plain black leather backing with all of the bolts covered up. So again, going simple, going old school, going basic for this. And of course with Miles leather, like butter as usual. The belt also comes with a fully stitched embroidered belt bag featuring the 7-star FTR logo. With the main event belts emblem. And each one also came with its own certificate of authenticity, identifying that it's an official licensed product within main event belts and licensed by FTR, and the number for the belt that you purchased. So the Living Legends banner at the top, surrounded by the 2 fists, of course arcing back to their revival days. No flips, just fists. There you see the detailing on the nugget texturing, which is really nicely done, along with the beautiful paintwork on the FTR logo, along with the 7 stars at the bottom. And again, main event belts doing such a great job with the portraits, really sort of their signature when it comes to their designs. They've done licensed belts for Jake the Snake Roberts, FTR, Vader. They do also have another one coming out soon for a very well-known classic Golden Age World Wrestling Federation tag team. And of course, the beautiful leather by Miles. Main event belts really knocked this out of the park. So there you have it, guys. The main event belts FTR Tribute Championship Collector's Belt. Absolute wonderful piece. Only 20 of them in existence. And of course, as I mentioned, FTR fully licensed this out for their appearances, their logos, 2 main event belts. Just a wonderful, wonderful piece. And of course, main event belts also do other tribute championship belts that are coming out with other ones. They do tend to number them though, so they are very, very limited. So if you want an official one, if you want one from them in conjunction with the wrestlers themselves, you do need to act quickly. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. And what I love is the fact that, like, just there, the lighting isn't actually hitting the main plate, but you can see at the angle how nicely the paint pops as well there, along with the light only catching the nugget texturing and the recessed areas. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you again to Parteon, one of my patrons, for lending me this belt. I greatly appreciate it. Such a wonderful, wonderful piece. The plating, the etching, the paintwork, the leather, and of course, you know, with Miles leather, you're getting the best around. Lovely. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of the championship. And if you were going to pick one wrestler that could potentially have a legacy tribute championship belt created and licensed, what wrestler would you want to have a belt made about? Anyway guys, that's it from me, and I'll catch you as always next time.